Bienvenidos a todos. Hi everybody, I'm Trish Christ. NECAT and our super crew of teenagers are here today with Conexion Americas. Executive Director Renata Soto is going to show us around and tell us all about it. You ready?
Welcome to the gateway to Nashville's International District. We're so excited to have you here.
Let's do it. Show me.
Our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
Esto es our Nashville.
Nammude Nashville. That means it's our Nashville in the Tamil language.
We all know how to talk about our organization during meetings, but what about the chance encounter of a lifetime? You never know who may share your next elevator, notice your logo on a notebook or a tote bag, and ask what you do. What's the clearest, most persuasive thing you can say in a short elevator ride?
I would say that Conexion Americas is here to build a welcoming community and make sure that new immigrants have opportunities to pursue their version of the American dream.
There are a million questions I could ask you, Renata Soto. There are a million questions I could ask you. But let's start with a pretty basic one. Let's talk about purpose. Tell me about the purpose of Conexion Americas.
Conexion Americas has been around now for 15 years, and we are dedicated to building a welcoming community and creating opportunities where Latino families can belong, contribute, and succeed. That means for us making sure that immigrant families, like generations before us, have the tools and resources to pursue their American dream, buying a house, starting a business, learning English, and one that is very important for many Latino parents, make sure that they see their children succeed in school and go to high school and go to university. Many of those children will be the first in their families to achieve that milestone, and that's certainly an important part of what we do.
You have an enormous mission. Thank you for all of the different things that you do in our community. Enormous. The magnitude of your work is huge. Tell me about. I know you serve a variety of different types of startup businesses, but culinary endeavors are a specialty. Tell me about the big kitchen and what all people can learn from you.
So throughout the years of supporting and being with so many entrepreneurs, one area in which there are a lot of barriers to entry and the costs are very high are for culinary entrepreneurs who need access to a commercial kitchen that not only has the commercial equipment, but also meets the Metro Health Department codes. So throughout the years, we encountered so many people who wanted to start a restaurant, a catering business, selling wholesale to other markets, but really had difficulty entering because that lack of access to a kitchen. And so when we created our community center, Casa Azafran, we decided that that was our opportunity to create what other cities have done, which is a shared commercial kitchen where people have access to all that equipment. They can come anytime, they can store and cook, but they also can learn from each other and support each other. So for 4 years, our Mesa Comal commercial kitchen has been the nurturing place for food trucks, catering businesses, and wholesalers. We have a community today of 30 food entrepreneurs who run their businesses out of our kitchen.
Wow.
And that means that often we have more than 7 or 10 of them at the same time. They have 24-hour access to the kitchen. And I think that one of the great things about the Culinary Incubator is that while we built it because we knew of the needs of Latino food entrepreneurs that we have been helping with all these years, the reality is that a commercial kitchen of that kind was a need for all kinds of entrepreneurs, not just immigrants. And so when we opened the Culinary Incubator, many people came knocking on our door. And it's one of our most diverse programs. Actually, I would say half of our culinary entrepreneurs are immigrants themselves. The others are native Nashvillians, so people who can come from other parts of the US and have made Nashville their home. It is a great place where you are in front of the creativity and artistry of cooks, But also one thing that we did not know that we were building, we thought it was the shared economy. You have access to all of this and be part of the community because you leave it clean as you found it and because you follow the communal rules. What we didn't know that the kitchen would create for the food entrepreneurs was a sense of community beyond just the technical piece of being a cook and an entrepreneur in the same field. People say that part of the great support that they receive there is precisely the energy from other food entrepreneurs, some of them who are maybe more advanced than where you are. So you learn from them, both from marketing, from opening new markets, from pricing, from tips on recipes. They influence each other's actually. But also, once that you are more advanced, you're also in a capacity to be the mentor to others that are starting, and seeing themselves as teachers and mentors to others is also an important part of their own discovery, that they can also be part of a group of entrepreneurs that support each other. I think that the commercial kitchen for us, as in many homes, is the heart of our casa. And I can honestly say that that commercial kitchen really is the place where you can see the entrepreneurial spirit that has built this country so vividly. Of course, it awakens all of your senses, right? The smells, the sounds. It's a busy place. We have actually welcomed just in the last couple of weeks 3 new entrepreneurs. And it is already great to see how each of them changes the dynamic and adds to that community. And you know, we are really excited that we partner with other organizations in the city to help these entrepreneurs show and share all of their great things that they cook. So for example, at the Belcourt Theater, we have several of our food entrepreneurs are part of the concessions there. So I claim that at the Belcourt, it's the only theater in the US, if not in the world, where you can eat empanadas, you can eat fresh hummus, and other alfajores and other sweets that you wouldn't find in a theater. Of course, they still offer the popcorn, but we bring the other flavors.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
My name is Rosa Marta Molanex, and the culinary incubator manager for Mesa Comal Kitchen. Mesa Comal, Mesa means table in Spanish, and Comal means griddle, and as well in Kurdish means community. So it's like Mesa Comal it talks about the community. This kitchen is not only a rental kitchen, but it's a kitchen where people thrive and they belong here, and they contribute with each other ideas to every business in here to be successful. I do many things, like from guiding people when they are starting their businesses, from business license to like recommendations, like where to get the insurance, like how, like prep and production, like how to be more productive. So I also like get them with a training before they come and work for first time in several aspects, not only in food safety, but as well like gas safety and how to use a fire extinguisher. There are a lot of things in here in Nashville, like the law is very strict in Nashville for food trucks, and the law varies in state to state. So whenever there's someone from Chicago or from LA or from Florida that come over here with another idea from another law from another state, and they come to Nashville, they get surprised of how much like requirements they need to have, and everything is about like from going to the fire department to going to the health department, and to make sure that the water tanks are properly placed and everything. The most of the people I serve are Latinos, and they are not very good at speaking English. So I guide them through all the website of the Tennessee.gov. So in there's a part like how to start a business step by step. So I sit down with them and I tell them, well, you need to look for a name. You need to have a legal structure. If you're going to have partners, if you're not going to be all on your own, about the business license, how you get like an FEIN number, a federal number, and as well if you're going to file for a non-profit organization or a not-profit organization. And if you need to be registered with another organizations like alcohol, like if you're going to sell alcohol or beer, or if you are going to be registered with the agricultural department, and how to register with the health department. And when they get into those last steps, that's what Mesa Comal are bigger of a part of our role, because we are part of that registration and to have a place where to cook, a safe place where to cook.
What sort of business guidance or business services do you all offer?
So we have, for many years since we started, understood that immigrants are entrepreneurs by definition. People come here with a desire to put their creativity, their determination, their hard work, sometimes for somebody else, but often to start something of their own. Sometimes because there is a need as our own community grows of services and products that we want to cater to our own community, and so that's when you see a lot of ethnic markets on Nolensville Road or restaurants where our own community can enjoy the things that we miss from back home, but also a way of bringing a little bit of our own culture and flavors to Nashville. And certainly we help people who already have a business and want to take it to the next level through education and mentorship, but also people that are just trying to decide if even being self-employed and having their own business is for them.
So that's a business type service that Conexion offers to the community. Are there other sort of business support endeavors that we should talk about?
Yeah, so in general, our education through our prosperous business, Negocio Prospero, it's a 10-week curriculum where people come to learn about the basics of running or growing a business. So from issues of human resources, legal issues like what licenses you need at the local level, from the state, a lot of issues of taxes, right? Like what's the difference between as a self-employed person, what are my responsibilities in tax paying, what's the difference between an employee and a contractor, and then issues of marketing and pricing and how to use social media to expand your business. That class is the one that attracts people from all kinds of, at all kinds of levels, but also from many industries. Some of them join our kitchen if they're in the culinary area. And some of them, we continue to mentor them after the class because they need help with their next level of growing their business, because they need some legal assistance checking on a lease because they're going to rent a new space, or because they just need some sounding board for whatever it is that they're dealing with in their business. The Negocio Prospero is really a great opportunity for us to see also the impact of immigrants creating jobs for others in our community.
Nice.
Many of the food entrepreneurs and others start as an opportunity for them, but many of them offer employment to people around them. One of our food entrepreneurs, in her high season, she employs 8 people. And it is not uncommon for many of those businesses to actually be the ones that are really propelling the vitality of the economy here in Nashville. We know that small businesses are really the backbone of this economy, and we see it every day. The people that are creating jobs for others, for relatives, but for other members of the community here in Nashville. And so it is certainly an important part of what we do, not only because of what it does to one particular family and their capacity to develop something from nothing and provide great quality of life for their relatives, but it is also an important part of how immigrants contribute to our economy by creating job opportunities for people beyond those circles. And it is certainly part of the story of how small businesses are building our economy.
You mentioned legal services, and I'm sure that there are legal services that you offer that are beyond the business realm. Talk to me about what sort of legal service opportunities are available.
Yes, so we are lucky at Casa Azafran, which is our community center that we created 4 years ago, where we have 9 partners under one roof serving the immigrant and Latino community. In part, we created that precisely because we knew that Conexion Americas couldn't do it all. We shouldn't try to be all to all people, and we didn't have the expertise of capacity to develop all kinds of programs for all the opportunities that immigrant families are here to pursue. So under our one roof, we have one of our partners, Justice for Our Neighbors, provides legal immigration services to families who can't afford an immigration lawyer, but have a case either because they're applying for a green card or a humanitarian visa, if you're a refugee, or many other ways in which people are eligible for applying for visas to remain in the U.S. In addition to that, we have many people who just need how to help on how to navigate the system, right? Families that need a family lawyer, families that have issues with landlords. And so in that case, what we do is we connect people to other lawyers in the community, some who are willing to provide pro bono assistance, some who are willing to take people at a discounted rate.
Sure.
In this moment in time in which we are, when people are really fearful and uncertain about what might happen to their families because the enhanced messages about more people being subject to be deported, we have been working with a lot of lawyers and Legal Aid Society to make sure that people have access to advice, people have access to legal advice to prepare a power of attorney so that in case one of the parents is detained and sent back home, there's already a plan for what would happen to the children, who would make decisions for the child, who can make decisions at school, and the process for that family to hopefully be reunited. So legal assistance and connecting people to legal resources is very key, always in what we have done. But in the last few months, certainly that has been more emphasized just because of the political and social context in which we are. And we are trying to make sure that families are informed and are understanding that in times like this, we have to get ready for the worst case scenario, which means the likelihood of deportation is higher. And therefore, we need to make sure their families are prepared.
Hi, my name is Adriana de Leon, and right now I'm doing taxes here in Conexion. During the program from January to April, we have a VITA program, which is free taxes for all our community. It's mostly in Spanish. Our community, most of the people, they don't have the Social Security, so the first step is to get their IT number, which is the number that IRS give it for our community, for those people who doesn't have a Social Security. So we apply for that first, and then we process their taxes. So it's first we teach the people how to do that. I started like 6 years ago as a volunteer. I was on other program facilitating parents at the school, and after that I went to school and I finished my school, and then I started 2 years ago. It's been a long journey, but I'm really glad to be here helping my community.
There are countless things that you do at Conexion that relate to families and sort of social engagement of the community. Tell me about some fun stuff. What are some fun activities?
So as I was saying, one of the most important dreams that parents bring with them is their desire that their children will have the educational opportunities they didn't have, right? Many of the parents that we work with had a 4th, 6th grade education, and when they come here, they want to see their kids certainly graduate from high school, but maybe become a doctor, a teacher, a social worker, join the military, run for office. And so one of the most fun things that we get to do is to work with young people, mentoring them in that process to see themselves beyond high school, explore careers, meet professionals of all kinds, be in environments of many flavors, and make sure that they understand that while for them going to college might be harder because it's expensive, because if they are undocumented, that there are additional barriers they have to overcome, because if their parents did not go to college, they're gonna have to figure out some of how to get there on their own. It is great to see young kids who are discovering all the opportunities in front of them. And I think that certainly for us, the work that we do with young people is probably the most fun, because it's also where you see the opportunity for the longest positive outcomes that we can be nurturing in our community, right? When we get to see a child graduate from high school and go to college, it's not just that person's trajectory that we're changing, it's a whole family and the ones that come behind them, right? And I don't think that there's anything more important that we can do to make sure that these children have the opportunities to see all that is possible, and that even when there are barriers of finances and others, that there are a lot of people behind them. There are a lot of adults, a lot of teachers, a lot of organizations, a lot of people that are rooting for them and that really want them to become all that we need them to be, right? It's not just because they are amazing people, but also because Nashville needs to make sure that we are bringing out of our school system adults that can fulfill the many jobs that are available that we don't have often the educational levels or requirements to fill.
Sure, sure. So your organization is called Conexion Americas. The facility of the last few years is Casa Azafran. Tell me a little bit about the choice of the name for Casa Azafran.
The purpose is that we are under one roof, but each organization, it's its own autonomous organization with our own board of directors and our new name. It was clear for us that we needed to name the building something else, even though Conexion Americas is the lead agency that owns the property and that serves as landlord to our partners. When we were thinking about the name for the building, certainly the word casa was easy because we wanted to be a home for all, a home for those organizations, for our staff, and for the families that we're trying to welcome there. But it was very important to us also to recognize that while Conexion Americas is the lead partner in creating that center and that we have served Latino families primarily all these years, we recognize that while Latinos are the majority of immigrants in Nashville, we're not the only ones. And we have an important, rich presence by people who have come from all over the world, many of them who speak Arabic and other languages. And so we really wanted to make sure that the name was an opportunity to draw attention to that. This is not just a center for Latino families. And so recognizing that after English and Spanish, Arabic is the language that is most spoken in Nashville and in our school systems. We decided that the other name needed to be one of those many words in Spanish that came from Arabic. And azafran became the choice because azafran, first of all, is a spice that is present in all civilizations, Asian,
saffron.
African, right? Yes, is the word in English for saffron. And it is a spice that is one of the most expensive spices in the world because of the amount of manual labor that is needed to produce just 1 pound of the spice. And to me, the metaphor was that the work that we do at Casa Azafran, the collective work among all the partners, is exactly maybe a little metaphor to what it takes to just collect all the little pollen from one flower to produce a little bit of saffron. But it is also it speaks to it's hard work, right? Social change is hard work.
Yes.
It's not something that you can automate actually, right? It involves people that are willing to roll up their sleeves and see that maybe some of the things that we're working for and on are not things that we're gonna see the fruits of our labor immediately, but it spoke to that collective work and hard work that also it takes to produce a little pan of azafran. Interestingly enough, by the time that we already had decided on azafran as the name for the building, we learned that the flower is in the family of the iris flower, which happens to be the flower of the state of Tennessee.
Nice.
And it was brought by European immigrants to America. So there you go. It was all meant to be. Casa Azafran is that story of a flower, of immigrants bringing it here, and of what it means in terms of paying tribute to our own Arabic heritage.
Beautiful. Okay, Renata, I have one more fun little section for you. This one's a game. It's the game that we played when we were kids, a speed round of questions. And I'll ask you something, just the first answer that comes to mind you give, and we'll zoom on to the next one. You ready?
Yes.
Speed round with Renata Soto. True or false? There are more than 20 countries where Spanish is an official or national language?
True.
What word do you say more than any other word at work?
Help me, Andres, here. Oh my gosh. Woo.
Maybe that's what you say at work. Help me, Andres.
There you go. Help me here. Let's see.
What room do you laugh in at work?
What room do I laugh at? The kitchen.
Excellent. What room do you cry in at work?
My office.
What's the mark that you want Conexion Americas to make in the world?
That we learn to see the humanity in each other. When we look into each other's eyes, we see the same dreams, the same fears, the same humanity.
Beautiful. And last of all, what's your website?
ConexionAmericas.org. That's ConexionAmericas.org.
Thank you so much.
It's our Nashville.
Nuestro Nashville.
It's our Nashville.